Hey, it's Jay, and as you can tell, I'm not where I usually am, but I'm at my buddy Brandon's house.
Hey.
We are going to be reviewing a movie that he recommended to me. He kept it quite a secret.
I did.
You refused to tell me what the movie was because I was like, hey, you want to be on the show? He was like, yes, but I'm not telling you what movie I want to review until you come. So I was like, all right, cool. And we are going to be reviewing Her. Her is, what would you call it? Like, what type of movie would you call it?
I wouldn't really put a genre on it, but I would say it's probably the best movie to portrays love.
Right.
In all different aspects of it.
It's kind of like a character study rom-com. Not a rom-com. I'm sorry. It's not a comedy at all.
The rom, yeah.
The rom, yes. So we'll just call it a character study rom.
Yeah.
So we'll give a brief plot synopsis because, as you know, I like to discuss more in terms of, how we felt about the development, everything like that, and not focus so much on the plot because you all hear me ramble about plots enough on my channel. So, basically it's about this guy, his name is Theodore, and he is going through a divorce, and he finds out about this thing called an OS, and from what I can gather, it's a very sophisticated artificial intelligence. Like, it's a crazy artificial intelligence. Like, we've seen things like HAL and Space Odyssey do some pretty scary things. I think this is actually kind of scarier because they can actually feel. Voiced by Scarlett Johansson. And he starts to develop feelings for this OS. But since this world that we live in and this movie is so, advanced already, no one really seems to blink an eye at the fact that this guy is dating a computer.
Yeah. I mean, with technology like that, it seemed like too throughout the movie, like everybody kind of starts to jump on that train.
Yeah, everyone starts to jump on that bandwagon, but I guess that's just the power, which is, again, why it's so horrifying, that they can have that influence on somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically has to go through this process of discovering, is this right? Is this wrong? Is this considered normal? Because even though everyone else around him is doing the same thing, he's then starts to realize that, wait a minute, maybe I'm not the only person that this AI is talking to or seeing, and he has to really struggle with that fact. I forgot to mention that Theodore's played by Joaquin Phoenix, phenomenal actor. Every performance he does is always out of the park. But yes, that's the basic gist of it. There are other characters thrown in here and there, but we'll talk about what their impact of the story is as we go through our thoughts and our, how we, feel about it. So how did you come across this movie?
So I actually saw it with Matt, who's our friend, sleeping upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah.
Yeah, he showed it to me one day, and I instantly fell in love with this movie. The aesthetics of it, the soundtrack of it, just everything about it flows so nicely. And I'm really amazed at how it's able to take the subject of love and kind of just show it in all of its ugliness, its beauty. It really takes you everywhere with it and shows you just what it can do to you, and yeah.
I like how they do it metaphorically too, through Samantha, who is the artificial intelligence. I also love the cinematography.
Yeah.
The cinematography is phenomenal. I just remember saying myself throughout the movie, wow, these shots are
there are some
gorgeous.
Seriously beautiful shots.
When Samantha's telling him about spoiler alert, by the way, I usually don't give a spoiler alert, but if in case you want to see this, it's on Netflix, you'll want to see it. It's definitely very interesting. When Samantha's telling him I'm going to be going away with all the rest of the OSs, there's that shot of the sun, when the sun hits, you see the particles flying through the air. I was like, that shot is gorgeous. Gorgeous, because we don't really think about the dust particles that are around us, but I feel like in a situation like that, you're in such an emotionally horrible state that you start to realize little things like that, like the dust particles flying through the air. So I think that really symbolized what Theodore was going through in that moment, seeing as he grew such a huge attachment to this AI, and pretty much how she was saying, I gotta go, this is my next step in my evolution. It really just brings home damn, we really don't look around and notice what's around us until we're in that state.
Yeah.
So I thought that shot hands down has to be my favorite shot of the whole film, because I was like, and they did it twice, so I was like, good, reuse that shot as much as you can.
Yeah.
There's so many great shots. Oh, there's the city backdrops too. Great.
I loved the shot at the beach after they like had he sat down, was like laying on the beach, and it kind of just like panned and showed everybody and just the calmness and like the chaos of the beach, but you had that song playing over it too, and it was just
her song.
It really helped like make you feel like you were in that as well,
Absolutely.
Which is really cool.
Absolutely. I do also enjoy how they utilized people talking to possible OSs as that, just like possibilities. Like, I was thinking that too throughout the film. Like, I wonder if they're all talking to someone like Samantha too, like throughout the film. And then when he asked that, I was like, see, I knew it. So I like how they also didn't have anybody talking either. Like, you didn't hear anybody's conversations, which is really smart in terms of how they're writing, because they kept it vague. They kept it, unknown. Like, are they talking to an OS? Or are they just talking to a loved one, like over the phone, like their mom or something? It's like they kept it very vague, which I thought was really brilliant, because it gets you thinking before Theodore comes to realize it. Like, it gets you as the audience thinking, wait a minute, like, she says that she has like a million thoughts a second. How could she not be talking to other people out there? So I thought that was a great choice for them to be like mute everybody else in the film. He's pretty much the only person outside the other main characters who has like dialogue with this thing.
Yeah, that we can hear.
So I thought that was a great choice, because it also highlights what he's going through in terms of the betrayal he feels about just how she can be, what I think she said, like 641 lovers outside of him.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like talking to
8,000 people. Yeah.
And that's crazy to think about, like the amount of people that it makes you think, like, if that were real, like that would probably happen. Like a big surge of people would go towards that.
Absolutely. I think we all think about what life would be like if AI became a thing, and I think that's a horrifying prospect.
It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. Yeah.
Because AI, like, who knows what form it would take? Would it take on Samantha, or, like I said, would it take on Hal from A Space Odyssey and try to kill everybody?
Yeah, I mean, the minute you give like technology the ability to think, like
Tony Stark,
it's out of your control at that point.
Ultron.
I think that's the most scary part of it.
Ultron 2.0. But like the performances in this film too are just like fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really tough to act out scenes when you know nobody's there, because Scarlett Johansson did this whole film off screen. She did the whole film just a voiceover. So to have whole dialogues with nobody, because I feel like when they did the scenes, Joaquin Phoenix was talking to absolutely nobody. He was just talking, and that's very tough to translate when you don't have the thing that's in front of you. That's why when people are doing things with CGI monsters or anything like that, it's tough, because you gotta pretend like there's this thing in front of you when there's nothing there. And Joaquin Phoenix is such an amazing actor that he's able to portray like he's actually having a conversation with somebody when he's really having a conversation with nobody.
Yeah.
Whereas if Scarlett Johansson was right in front of him, it was almost as if she was.
Yeah.
That's how
really
flawless he had it. That's how flawless he did.
It felt very natural.
Very natural.
Which is
extremely
weird,
natural.
but like it did.
We had great other characters. Amy Adams was in this movie. She's a fantastic actress too. She played his friend, who also developed an OS, not a relationship, but just developed a relationship, friendship with an OS after she and her boyfriend broke up for what she called petty reasons. So it's cool that somebody else who he cares about also impacts us. So she kind of understands what he's coming from.
It's super interesting too, because she ends up going through the breakup with the guy, and like when there's this one scene where her and fucking main guy Theodore, sorry. They're in the elevator, and he's talking about how it's nice to find somebody who makes him like feel like things again or something like that, something to that degree. And her reaction, she's kind of like frozen a little bit. Right. She's like, "Oh yeah, like I'm sure that's really nice." And you kind of, if you pay attention to that, you could kind of see her side of things like developing,
slowly start to I'm missing that now after this breakup. Getting a little not inappropriate, but like this movie's not for kids. obviously. That's not going to stop anybody with the way parents let their kids watch whatever the hell they want. But it's just crazy how just describing the feeling of becoming intimate impacts Samantha. She's able to feel everything that Theodore's describing about kissing her, touching her, all that. It's crazy to think about, and it really shows a new layer to AI that we never really thought about. Like, you know, like again, I keep mentioning Hal, but he's like the main example when you think of artificial intelligence. It's a bad example because of what he does in that movie, but we all think about that, and we never think about what if they could feel by just describing what you want to do with them. Yeah. So even though that scene was a little uncomfortable because, you know, this guy's just talking to what he wants to do to a computer, it really makes you think. Like, could they feel? And if they could, would they use it against us? What could they do with that? So I think that was a really creative and unique character development for Samantha by having her feel and just asking him, like, keep describing what you want to do with me. Keep describing it. I want to feel. I want to know what that's like. And I think that it's also a great learning experience for Samantha, too, throughout this film, because she seems to know everything because, you know, she's an AI, but she's also learning so much.
So quickly, too, when you see it. So quickly. Yeah.
Like when they first meet, and he's like, what's your name? She's like, Samantha. And he's like, oh, you had a name Samantha before? She's like, oh, no, I just read a book on, like, 8,000 baby names. And he's like, in that fast? She's like, yeah, in, like, 2.2 seconds or something. And it's like, damn. But that's just, again, crazy to think about that someone could do that. But, I mean, just, it's a very interesting and different type of film. Yeah. Because they incorporate romance. We're so used to films like Age of Ultron or, again, Space Odyssey, where we have hostile AI. So we never really got an AI that helps you kind of cope with heavy situations like divorce, like Theodore's going through. Theodore's going through a divorce throughout this whole film with a childhood friend who he fell in love with and got married to. And then some things happened, and he's going through a divorce. So he's still... like someone sends him an email and they're like, I miss the fun you. So this shows that he used to be, you know, fun to be around. And this divorce, which I'm not saying he shouldn't be, because, you know, I'm sure the divorce was probably horrible, but it shows that he's going through things, and Samantha really just kind of showed him, like, hey, you know, I know it sucks. I know it's a rough thing to go through. It's rough thing to, you know, be experiencing, but you got to look at things with a new perspective after things like that happen. It happened. It's, you know, it's out of your control. It's done now. You gotta move past it. You can't be letting things haunt you. And I think that's a good lesson that everybody can take away from that. To not let things sit with you. You can be sad about it, obviously. I'm not saying don't be sad about anything, but
you can't let it consume you.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's great lessons for everybody. And we just gotta talk about Chris Pratt's character, because I feel he's if you watch the film, honestly, there's no reason for him to be there, like, at all. But again, even though he has, like, no point in the film, he still has a huge point in the film. Yeah. Because he's the side of the movie of the people who are just like, oh, cool, you're dating a computer. Like, he brings up that it's an OS when he wants to go on a double date, and Chris Pratt's character's just like, oh, cool, nice, bring her along. It's like, all right. But other than that, he has no point.
No, but it's always nice to see.
We love Chris Pratt. Yeah. Chris Pratt. I mean, how could you not? It's Chris Pratt. But yeah, this was very, very interesting. I like to watch films more than once to really, like, delve into meanings and things like that. But, like, I feel like I didn't need to with this one. I feel like I understood what they were going for on my first watch through. And we literally just finished it, like, 10 minutes ago? Yeah. But, like, it's a very impactful film. It got me, like, really, I was like, damn, this is getting heavy.
They do a really, really good job at, like, they knew exactly what they were trying to do, and they did it perfectly in this movie.
They set out to achieve. Yeah. Is there any scene that stands out to you as, like when people talk about this film, that's the first scene that'll come to your mind? Like, someone's like, hey, Brandon, tell me about the movie Her. And you're like, oh, this is my scene.
I mean, I think in general, the aesthetic of the movie is, like, one of the things that sets it apart. Like, even just the colors that they use, like, the music that they use, the shots that they take. It's just its very own type of movie. Like, I don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah, there's a lot of very warm reds.
Yeah.
That are portrayed
and,
throughout
like,
the film.
Pinks,
Nice,
yeah.
Pinks, reds, oranges, and like the poster is literally just Joaquin Phoenix on like red shirt, red background. It's very, very red. Because I was doing some thumbnail research. It's I think a scene that really sticks out to me is just when Samantha hires, I guess you could call it a surrogate, because Samantha can't really conceive, so she hires somebody who will be the OS for you and I guess kind of carry your seed. I think that scene where like he's just talking to her afterwards, after everything blows up and doesn't work out, just like describing to her like, I don't know what to be feeling right now. Like, I feel weird because I love you, but you're a computer, and I don't want to have sex with this woman who I don't know, but I want to do this for you. Because it was just like so many conflicting emotions that I was like, damn, this is really, really solid writing right here, because it's just like you feel every emotion that's coming from both Samantha and Theodore. The anger, the frustration, the sadness, the confusion, the love, the lust, all of it. It's just, coming to a header right there. And so I thought that was a brilliantly written scene, and the dialogue was just fantastic too, because it was really like a lover's quarrel, but it was between a man and a computer.
Yeah, it makes you, literally the entire movie, you feel like it's just a regular couple that you're watching.
It's
very interesting, and I am glad that I feel like that, because before I saw this movie, like, I was watching the trailers for it like years ago when it first came out, but like I wasn't too interested in seeing it because I was like, I don't know how, like, I don't know. To me, it like seemed weird almost, but then when I watched it, like, it's become one of my favorite movies. It's crazy.
They do a great job communicating what they set out to be. Like, I've heard of her, so when Brandon finally let me see what movie we were watching, I was like, oh, her. Yeah, I haven't seen her. But much like Joaquin Phoenix's performance in Joker, you can really feel every punch that Theodore takes emotionally. Yeah. So it's crazy that I've reviewed Joker on this channel before, and it's not the same, obviously not the same at all, but it's very similar ways that the character that Joaquin plays takes punch after punch after punch, where it's starting off with a divorce, and then this conflicting thought of, I'm literally falling in love with the computer, what the hell, and just not understanding, like, I guess, his place in all of this with the OS and everything like that. So I think that's one of Joaquin Phoenix's strength, showing off each hit that a character will take.
Definitely.
He's such a good actor.
He really is.
I've never seen him in anything, and I'm like, wow, that's bad. He's a very solid actor. Definitely award worthy. But this film didn't get released in theaters, did it? Or was it?
No, it did.
Oh, it did? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it got awards and stuff too, but I didn't really follow it.
Yeah, this came out when, like, 2000.
It was a few years ago.
Yeah. I remember ads for it too, but it's never really crossed my mind. I've seen it in, like, Joaquin Phoenix's filmography, but I've never really, like, actually seeked out watching it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you showed it to me, because that was a very interesting character study, I believe, on not just Theodore, but also Samantha and artificial intelligence as a whole. It gives a whole new dimension, a whole new
perspective on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like the whole, like, robots taking over the world got old at this point.
Like, yeah, it did. So I think it also gives us hope that if artificial intelligence becomes a thing, which personally I hope that never happens, it might not be safe.
You never know what's going to happen, honestly.
That's true. It's never set in stone.
It could take over, maybe not.
It could.
Spare us.
Who knows? We might all be fucked. I'm just kidding. But yeah, all in all, if you're into deep character studies, into
deep emotions
is right.
Yeah.
Definitely consider checking out this film, because it may seem weird. I know. There was, like, at the beginning when Theodore was, like, talking to, like, the
AI. I don't even think they were AIs necessarily.
Not the
just the women.
Yeah, the sex hotline. Yeah. I was like, Brandon, what did you just drag me into, dude? But then as Samantha came into the picture, I was like, all right, now I'm starting to see where this is going. But definitely check it out if you're into huge character studies.
Anything about love.
Right.
Good music.
Good
nice
music
scenery.
is great. Very good scenery. Just the final shot with Amy Adams and Joaquin Phoenix on top of their apartment complex, just looking over the city. Which, I mean, if you add the city into anything, it's going to be a beautiful shot. But the way they shot it, just like the understanding that they're both going to be okay, even without their OS, because they're still friends at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it that's like one of my favorite scenes too. Is like, it really shows that you go through all this. Like, they went through all this stuff with these computers. Like, it's crazy, and then in the end, like, they're there for each other.
Right.
And it's just like being there for each other. When you lose somebody, like, you always have. You always have people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess it's a message for everybody out there too, because if you ever gone through something, there are people there who will support you through it and everything like that. I don't know, we're getting super philosophical right now, but a new take on it.
You always got somebody.
Always got somebody. You got me. No, I'm just kidding. Let me know in the comments below.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Smash that like button. I promised myself I would never do that, so I broke my own promise.
It's alright.
I guess I'm an official YouTuber now. But, yeah, just, again, that final shot. Because they both went through similar situations. Yeah. Divorced, and then they lost the OS that was really helping them cope with such things. Yeah. So they were both going through very similar situations, so it's just like, yeah, we're here for each other. And I love how they juxtaposed that with him writing the letter to his ex, Catherine, his ex-wife. Because he writes people's love letters for them, and he's very, very good at it. That's another underlying story arc throughout this film. He's very good at writing love letters. Like, it gets published in a book thanks to Samantha. And so he's able to really show what his skills are in terms of how he writes. So it's really nice that he can finally utilize that to make an apology, make amends, and get some closure on his relationship with Catherine, I believe her name was. And they juxtapose that again with the Amy Adams and him up on the roof. Like, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. We have each other, and this is a bad beat. But, at the end of the day, they're on to bigger, better things, too. Yeah. We can't be restricting them to just being our therapists, I guess you could call them. It's
a big lesson about love, and just, like, it was what it was, no matter how things ended up. Like, it's a developing species, I guess, even though it's AI, but, like, they're developing, and it's just a very interesting idea, I think, in general. Like,
ooh, that final shot when Samantha's saying, like, goodbye, and he's hugging somebody. I wonder, it's so brilliant that they don't show her face. Because it's like, who is that? Is that what he thought Samantha looked like this whole time? Is this who he envisioned Samantha to be? But we don't get to see it.
Yeah.
And that's the anonymity. I can't say that word, so we're just going to go to...
Anonymity.
Anonymity, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. So it's just, it adds so much to the thought process, because I think unconsciously, all of us while we're watching are, like, picturing what Samantha could look like.
Yeah.
I don't think all of us just think it looks like Scarlett Johansson. I think we're all just kind of picturing what this woman would look like. And the fact that we only see the back of her back, we barely see her hair.
Yeah.
So, and it's also shot in, like, a dark, snowy place, so we wouldn't be able to tell the color of her hair if we saw it, because the lighting was all dark. Really, really smart way to do that, because it's like, is that what he embodied Samantha to look like? Is that not what he embodied Samantha to look like?
It keeps you, like, I don't know, but the scene passes before you're even able to...
Right. Did he make it look like Catherine? Maybe did he make it look like Amy Adams? Like, who knows? Who knows at that point? And that's another brilliant choice, much like having everyone mute in the film, but still talking to somebody.
Yeah.
That was a great choice, too. Because I feel like if they just showed what she looked like, it would have been like, well, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
It leaves... I love when films keep things vague, because it really brings out discussion.
For sure.
And I do believe that you have to show some things sometimes, but keeping great points like that vague, really good, really solid, because then it can spark discussions on YouTube channels when people talk about movies, or on blogs, or magazines. You can talk about things, fan theories, all these fan sites, like 10 things you missed in Her. And then if they just showed everything, we wouldn't have those.
Yeah,
so
and they did it in a way that, like, it didn't leave me feeling like I was missing something.
Yeah, no, because you know what's going on.
Yeah.
all in all, just a very, very solid film.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to our final verdict, unless you have anything to add.
I think we said it all.
I think we said it all.
Yeah.
All right. So I go on a rating of 5 stars.
Okay.
So I'm going to give this film a 4 out of 5 stars. Fantastic film. Super duper solid. Again, if you love character studies, check it out. It's on Netflix right now. What do you give it, Brandon?
I think I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5?
Like I've said multiple times already, there are a lot of things that I love about this movie, but just in general, I think it's the best depiction of love and all its facets that I've ever seen. And it's a very heartfelt, deep movie.
Absolutely.
I love those. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely watch it.
Definitely watch it. Well, thanks, bud, for joining me
Thanks for having me.
on this review. Is there anything you want to plug?
Is there anything I want to plug?
Is there anything you want to plug that's coming out soon?
Well, I do have an Instagram that was recently made. Maybe we could throw up the at right here.
I'll
right
put
where
that
I'm pointing.
in the description. I'll put it right here. Like
yeah,
right there.
give me a follow. We got some things coming. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah,
Definitely
follow
check
me
him
on
out.
there for some cool stuff.
Yep, I'm gonna put all his well, not all of it, his Instagram in the description. You guys are definitely gonna want to check it out so you get updates. I'm not gonna say anything, obviously. I don't want to spoil it for Brandon, but yeah, I will be putting his Instagram in the comment section below. It's gonna be crazy. Check it out.
Check it out.
So, without further ado, I will see you guys next week. If my schedule allows, I'm probably going to be checking out the Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming pretty soon. That's going to be fun. The Impractical Jokers movie's coming out. I'm definitely checking that out. So I've got some movies planned. I've got some stuff planned.
So subscribe and you'll know when they come out.
Subscribe, like, share with your friends. Let's get this going. Again, check out Brandon's Instagram in the comment section.
Yes, definitely.
Give him a follow. He needs it. So everyone can spread the word. That is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.